you grow up and you see that stuff, you see dead bodies and stuff, that stuff don't bother you. You get numb to it. Mm-hmm. So you get to a point like you just want to escape it.
Here's Johnny.
Hi, Brian Lally here, Hollywood native, and you're about to watch another episode of Brian Lally, Hollywood native. I'm sitting here with Scott Williams, my partner in crime, and the reason that I am here. How you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am fantastic, never better. Who do we have on the show today?
Today, Brian, we have a great guest, Rob Tyler.
Rob Tyler's a hell of a filmmaker, but it was a long journey getting there. He grew up in a rough part of South Central, Figueroa and Manchester, back when Exposition Boulevard was called the War Zone. All you heard at night was automatic weapons, but Rob got out playing Division I basketball. His brother Jeffrey got out, joined the Army. He had another brother stuck around and wasn't so lucky. He got caught up in gang violence and died. Rob graduated from USC Film School to follow his passion. He worked as a longshoreman during the day and putting his kids through college and becoming a filmmaker. Now he is worldwide award-winning filmmaker. And I was blessed to be in a few of his films, so you're going to hear a hell of a story of survival and achievement. Rob Tyler.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Scott's always the one over here moving my mic like this. Now he's standing 6 feet away telling stories about Getty Lee.
So you fish a lot though?
Yeah. Grew up fishing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What area?
I fished at Piru, Pyramid, Casitas, Skinner. Never fished Elsinore. I want to go there and fish a lot at the ocean.
Yeah.
There's a little spot at Seal Beach I always go fish at and catch a lot of little spotted fin croakers. Kind of look like a drum.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, got the black spot on them.
Yeah, nice.
They come in this channel and you catch them. But they kind of been slow. I went, was it Friday or Thursday? I caught one. I said, okay, they're moving in here, the yellowfin croakers. But they're pretty big. I have to do a drop net and get them. But once they're in there, they're in there. We catch them on lugworms. Not blood, lug, L-U-G-Z. And ghost shrimp. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I did it so much as a kid that like it was almost like my family was like, this is not what you want to do for a living, so you're going to learn to hate fishing out here.
Yeah, we grew up doing it, man. My father was doing it.
Yeah.
He took us, we was little, bro. We was in a boat, and at Casitas, we had these mealworms, mighty millies. We caught the red ear perch. If you miss a fish, my father would be like, okay, wrap it up. You shouldn't have missed that. We got 50 mealworms in here. We should have 50 fish.
Yeah.
You can put the fish back. Don't throw that worm back in the water. You can still use that. Yeah.
Did you buy him somewhere, or you actually
bought
went
him
out?
for Rainbow Bait Company.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
He was the only person working.
Yeah. You know? I had a similar thing, but we would like go find like hermit crabs and stuff. So it was like you only got a limited amount of times to get a hit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Hermit crabs you were using as bait?
Yeah. Well, no, maybe not fiddler crabs.
Yeah. What about them sand crabs?
They eat them.
Yeah.
They eat them.
Everything.
Oh man,
You go to the beach. You go to the beach and get them. You have to see those little lines in the beach.
Yeah. And then you just dig under and they're
surf
like
perch eat them. Surf perch and corbinas eat them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a spot at Imperial. You can go stand on this little slab and look down, and you can watch them. You can watch a corvina. They'll swim in these trenches, and they'll come up when the wave come in. You'll see the sand crabs coming up, and they'll grab them and go back down. That's how I found that spot.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. I don't know fuck about this shit, man.
Oh yeah, you gotta read that water and stuff.
Yeah.
Wave tides, all that. Yeah, I've been doing that for a long
So your
time.
dad taught you young. So your dad was fishing. So your dad had at one time. You guys were you in the house yet in South Central? When he lost his job and was like
yeah.
So you were in the house, 88th and Figueroa.
Yeah.
And so man. I mean, I just like the story about people don't let themselves get down. Your dad lost his job. He had 5 kids, and he went down. And he started fishing.
Yeah, we was living on Honduras Street over by George Washington Carver High School, over by the train tracks in Alameda.
Oh, okay.
So he was living there. That was like $50 a month rent.
Jesus Christ. They saw you coming.
And he moved to 88 Place in Figueroa because this woman named Sister Collins who was at church with us. Went to church. She had the house, and she started renting it to him for $70. So she got stuck. She bought a house in Ladera Heights, so they got stuck with two, and they gave them offer to buy it, and they bought that one.
Oh, I thought it bought it from the Jewish family who had the kosher market.
No. I think
That was-
Esther Collins probably bought it from them. The Waziski family,
Right.
the meat market that we were
Right.
shooting right there. Yeah,
Right.
they probably bought it from them, but he bought it from Esther Collins.
So it was a mixture of stories, with two stories when we did The Last White Man. It was
Yeah,
a mixture of
they were renting it
stories.
first, and then because it was like a 1-bedroom we was in.
Right.
So we got that. It was 4-bedroom. So
Right.
we all had rooms. I guess they told him after a while you want to buy it, so he wound up buying it.
Yeah,
He had
that's
a
cool.
note about $200 a month, which
Right.
wasn't bad.
No.
It wasn't bad. So
But-
then he was working.
Right.
Longview Fiber Company. He was there for 17 years. He went in one day and they laid him off.
Right. And then he got up every day, went down
Got up
fishing.
fishing. He was already fishing. He fished on the weekends.
Right.
He would fish and we would hunt like right around Christmas, Thanksgiving. We'd go hunting in Bakersfield.
He's a hunting motherfucker, man. He watched over there when we were filming The Last White Man. We shot at his family home. His dad would just be watching them hunting shows all day,
that's all he
getting
does.
camouflage,
Yeah.
getting camouflage so they could kill a wild turkey. I'm gonna hide here and I spray myself with this. Wild turkey walks up like 5 feet away and they're like, "Bam! I got me one." You're damn right, you got me one.
Yeah, he used to take us hunting in, what was that, Hanford, Tulare, up that way,
Yeah.
Fresno.
Yeah.
They shot rabbits and pheasants, but we used to walk in these long cotton fields. My buddy's
Sure.
like, "None of you guys ever been to cotton fields?" I said, "I've been to cotton field." "Where you been to cotton field?" "Up north." Yeah, we walk in them. They call it comb the field. We'll walk through them, step over, walk back, step over, walk through.
Okay.
And pheasant jump up. They shoot if you have to stay in the line. Don't go in front. Don't lag behind, so you won't get shot.
Gotcha.
And then the rabbits go kick that bush. Rabbit jump out there, shoot it. So that's what we were eating.
Yeah.
You know, that was around Thanksgiving. So you either had the Canadian geese or the pheasants to eat for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
I said, we wasn't getting no Christmas present. We got true meaning of Christmas. Wasn't nothing up under that tree. You know? It was like you got a meal, a roof over your head, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, make you look at things a little bit, realistically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was it.
So your dad was down there every day and he met that cat, Mexican cat was it, that told him about the...
Longshoreman?
Yeah.
That was Buzzy. It was a white guy.
Oh.
Buzzy.
White
Yeah,
dude.
he was down there fishing. He was going out at San Pedro,
Right.
22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. He's going out on the charter boats there.
Right.
He would fish, sell the fish like $2.50 a pound,
Mm-hmm.
pay his house note. Then, of course, we had to pitch in. We was working, we had to pitch in, pay rent. You know, he's 17. Hey, man, start paying rent and get out. So he was fishing there, catching a lot of fish, and he would take them and go up to the church. We were at Christian Missionary Baptist Church. They would go there and sell the fish. This place called the Annex. They would sell fish dinners there.
Right.
And then he had customers that would buy the fish for him when he catch them, and he'd sell them there.
Right.
And that's how he's paying his note and stuff.
Right.
And,
Grinded.
yeah, so Buzzy asked him, what did he do for a living? He said, you see me doing it. He said, man, I'm going to get you in as a longshoreman. So that's how he got in there.
Okay.
Buzzy's a good dude. He's the only white person that came to my brother's funeral.
Oh.
You know, so yeah, he was a
Yeah.
real good dude. Real good dude, man.
Yeah. So that brings us to growing up in South Central at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people have heard rap songs, seen movies, but you were there
Yeah.
in the early 80s when it was...
We played football on the street. We played with Freeway Ricky Ross.
Right.
We lived right around the corner.
Right.
And well, I don't want to say they were. Rick and them was always in the sun, but it was a bad neighborhood. It was bad, you know. So you had to, if you're gonna survive it, it was kind of like there was a group of us. We all grew up. It was probably about 10 of us. We all had our little 10-speed dirt bikes with tire fishing poles on it, and ride down Manchester Boulevard, go to Playa del Rey to fish.
Mm-hmm.
And then that crowd start getting smaller every summer. Guys get older, they start joining gangs or whatever, going to the mall, hanging out. So it'll be, it'll go down to 5 people riding to the beach, 2, then 1. It was just me riding.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them started getting into gangs. And in the 80s, right around 82,
Well, 82 was when it got...
that's when crack hit the
bad.
streets over
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Well,
so all the killing stopped. And it was like a unity thing because everybody was selling for Ricky Ross. So at that particular time, I was trying to get out there. That's when I went to El Camino College.
They called it free base until they realized nothing was free about it. Then they called it base. Then they
Yeah.
called it pre-rock.
Yeah.
Then they called it rock.
Oh man,
Then they
those
called it
guys.
crack.
I used to go to Manchester Park. 'Cause I had to play basketball to pay my way through school. My parents didn't have no money. So, and I didn't play. I went to Birmingham High School. I didn't play basketball there. I played football. I used to go to Manchester Park to work out. And these guys walk in with bags of money. That's when they had the paper bags, ABC market right on Manchester.
Yeah.
They come in with bags of money and dump it on. I ain't never seen this before. Dump it on that little stage in the gym. Dump it on the stage. Our account was all bound together. It was like $2 million. I get my jacket. I said, I'm gone. To me and my people, too much money. I'm out.
Right.
Rick put a lot of money up in the community, and if you wanted to sell, they never force you. If you wanted to do that, then go talk to him. But I always went the opposite way. I wouldn't deal with him. I had to catch the bus, the El Camino, and then I worked washing pots for like, God, wait, 2 years. $3.35 an hour, 15 hours a week, $100 a month. I had to give my father 90, keep 10. I'm like, man, you taking all my money. He's like, well, get another job. So I started working at LAX Hilton Hotel as a banquet house and setting up for banquet events.
Right.
And that's how I bought my car. 1974 Maverick.
Right. Oh,
Bought that. That was my car, man. The grill was all out, but I bought it. And that's what I drove that, left El Camino, went to LA City.
Right.
The LA City College, that's when I got my film program.
Dang.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kept saying I wanted to do something. I was back there washing pots one day. I kept having majors at El Camino. It would be computer science, business. And I would change my major. And one day I was back there watching. You always want to do films. When we used to go to Lake Casitas,
Right.
we'd be on the 101 freeway. I wouldn't go to sleep until we passed Universal. They had that big
Right.
Frankenstein head up
Sure,
there.
yeah.
And I loved that. And then when I came back, well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. When I came back from Alaska, that's when I went and started working at Universal. But at LA City, that's when I started doing film.
Right.
Awesome.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that staying away from the temptation of that big money?
Oh, that
dealing?
money didn't bother me. I don't
Yeah.
love money that much.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, was it more of like a fear of your dad, or was it like you were
No,
just...
I just wanted to get out the hood, man.
Yeah.
God's honest truth. It was like I was escaping.
Right.
That's the God's honest truth. It was like when you grow up and you see that stuff, you see dead bodies and stuff. That stuff don't bother you. You get numb to it. So you get to a point like you just want to escape it.
Yeah.
I just want to go somewhere where I don't want to have to look over my shoulder. There, your head's on a swivel.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't want to live around that. You know. So when I went to college, it was fine. I hated the weekends because I got to go stay in the ghetto for a weekend.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when I went back and left, started going to the movies at Hawthorne Mall.
Right.
I'd go to Multiplex and stay there all day. I would go work out and play basketball and then go that evening, come back at 11. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had Howard Chambliss, his parents, I used to hang out with them. Then everybody started going to Westwood. So it was always trying to avoid that area.
Gotcha.
You know, you staying out of harm's way. It wasn't the money, it didn't excite me because I knew I could always go out and make money.
Yeah.
But I mean, you seen what these guys were doing. And to get it, that's where it gets you. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You
My
just,
brother got caught up in that game. My brother was doing it.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, we was talking about that when they said they're addicted to the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing it. He was selling, and he got killed. Like a block up the street. And then these guys, and they shot him, Scandalous, they were going in his pockets.
Yeah.
So I remember they came by my parents' house. He went to the hospital with John Doe. I had to go in there and identify the guy. And it was just so weird. When I was in there identifying his body, I'm looking at the doctor. I'm like, man, I know you from somewhere. Where'd you go to school at? He said, I went to Washington High School. I said, no, I didn't go to Washington. I know you from somewhere. He said, I went to Howard University. I said, no, I know you from somewhere. He said, I went to El Camino College. I said, that's where I know you. So that was just weird that this guy's in there. And he told me, oh, you brought your brother in, man. He wasn't breathing. You know, he was dead. I tried to survive him. He was getting no oxygen to his lung. I said, okay. So, you know, I remember going back to my parents' house, and you had these guys. When these guys came by, they always come up on a bike. You know that. They ride on the dirt bike. He came up. I got out the car, you know, and I told the guy, I said, look, get out of here. So you tell your little homeboys, don't come to the funeral. So they, and the guys were like, well, okay, I said, what's your name? I said, my name is Blade. I said, your mama didn't name you Blade. What's your mama name? Kevin. I said, okay, Kevin, you go and tell everybody don't come to the funeral. You guys let him die in the street at John Doe, don't come to the funeral. So they went and told the detectives I was in the mafia. So the police came by. They said, this brother's in the mafia, and the guy's asked, I'm not in the mafia. I'm like, guy, you know, I just told him don't come to the funeral. And the cops knew. He said, where'd you go to school? I said, I came out of SC. He said, okay. So they knew. And one guy when we was at the funeral, one guy come walking in. He just looked at me. This guy named Tyrone that lived across the street, who called me about a month ago. He just got out of jail. He came and said, man, I had to see Mr. Skoda, man. So he went up there and paid his last respects, and that was it. But nobody else came. Yeah. But yeah, that's what you escape from. You get numb to it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't my father. My father used to tell us, if you guys go out and you get in trouble, don't call me, because I'm not putting my house up for bail. Yeah. That's what you get. And be in here at 12. Yeah. This door is locking at 12. You ain't in here at 12, don't come home. Come home the next morning. Yeah. Don't break my rest. So, that's how it was. You don't understand it then, but as you get older, you start understanding it, man. And it makes a lot of sense. So when I went to LA City, that's when I started doing film. Started out with Super 8 millimeter, and start working with that. And we had
let me just ask you about this. Finish this up. Your brother Jeffrey, did he go to the Air Force right after?
Army.
Oh, the Army? Right after school? Mm-hmm. Right after high school?
Right after high school.
So both you guys got out.
Yeah.
And your brother Andre didn't, obviously. And what about your sisters? You got 2 sisters. They get caught up in anything, or?
Sadie didn't. The youngest one didn't, but Lisa pretty much did. Yeah. Sadie moved. As soon as she got out of school, she graduated from Washington. She went to San Diego. Right. San Diego State, and she wouldn't come back down there. She's still living in San Diego from this day forward. So.
It's pretty amazing that out of 5 kids, one got caught up. That's pretty. Because, I was down there at that time, 81, 82, 83. Yeah, and it was a chaos, like you talked about. It was a violent fucking place. They called Exposition Boulevard a war zone back then.
It was. It was a war zone. I remember my brother-in-law, he was saying, you didn't grow up in a war zone. I said, man, we had to go swim. We couldn't go to Manchester Park. We had to go to Expedition Park and swim in the Olympic pool. Right. Catch the dollar bus and stay out of harm's way. And he was saying, like, over by Manual Arts, it was bad. I said, oh, that's a safe haven. Somebody mess with you over there. It was every gang in the world where I was at.
You know what's sad about the Olympic Swim Stadium? What's sad about Los Angeles? And when I was young, my dad used to drive me down there because our neighbor was a lifeguard at the Olympic Swim Stadium. Mm-hmm. This is pre-Watts riots. Mm-hmm. So we used to go down there. We used to go downtown. We used to go South Central to eat sometimes, over on Central, And then when the riots hit, that stopped. Yeah. The city was divided. Yeah. And the Watts riots needed to happen. Mm-hmm. It was fucked up. Mm-hmm. But we used to go down there, and then that just stopped. The Olympic Stadium. We couldn't go down there no more. Mm-hmm. I met all sorts of black kids, and I was trying to get them on the phone. Uh-huh. I'm a little child. I'm gonna call the operator. Yeah, do you know where Andre is? Where but the Olympic Swim Stadium was it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Everything changed. Right. What? Actually, after the Rodney King riots, because that went on Figueroa and Normandy.
Yeah, Normandy and Florence.
Florence, I'm sorry. Yeah. And when that went down, everything changed. That was Vermont is buildings still burnt up from there. Broadway, Broadway had all the shops. That's where it used to go. That's still burnt down. It's still it's just vacant lots. Right. So I think they're probably getting the dirt cheap now, kind of like they did in New York.
Yeah, in the Bronx when they
There's
a cat went in there. I read about in the South Bronx. Used to be called Fort Apache. Mm-hmm. There were so many guns. That's the neighborhood my mother grew up in. She was 137th and Brook Avenue, and now they're called the Piano District. Oh yeah. So when I lived in New York in 2014, there was some cat went in there with $150 million, and he bought all them vacant lands, you know what I mean? He didn't have to do no. I mean, had to repipe and get the plumbing, but he didn't have to tear nothing down because it all been burnt down in the 70s and stuff, and they were just there. And he just started building nice apartments because it's just on the other side of the river from Manhattan. It had to come over there sometime. You know what I mean? So I don't know about today, but I know they were really reasonable price back then. They're probably not anymore, but it was like, hey, come over to the Bronx, you get yourself a 1-bedroom for, $1,200-$1,500, which was unheard of, in Manhattan. But anyway, so you went to Alaska after that?
Got to LA City. Yeah. I got a scholarship.
You and some of your friends?
I went to El Camino, tried out for basketball. Coach Landry was the coach. He cut me 3 times. Every time a man cut me, I'd go out and run 5 miles on the track, run the football stadium. Go back in. First time he should have cut me. Second time I'm like, it's kind of iffy. So he had like, he'll cut me. I'll go to spring trials, play all the way, work out all the way up to that time, go in there. He'll cut me. So I went and ran the stadium. And that third time, I gave myself 3 strikes. So the third time he cut me, I didn't think he should cut me. So I said, okay. And then that's when I went to LA City. I was in there enrolling in classes. This guy walked up and said, how tall are you? I said, 6'6". He said, you want to play basketball? I said, that's what I'm here for, and do films. And he was like, hey, give me a number. Gave him a number. And he said, Coach Curry's the coach, and he had him call me. And I remember I said, this guy's not going to call. I'm laying at home, laying on the couch, and the phone rang. And it was Coach Curry, KC, and he said, are you a legitimate 6'6"? I said, yeah. He said, you know Larry Steptoe? Yeah, I know Larry. You taller than him? Well, you taller than Larry. He said, okay, you might be a legitimate 6'6". So he told me when the trial happened, he said, go and run. So when the trials went in, made us do, they put us on the track and made us run. I was lapping all these guys. So all that fell in effect. But I went to LA City because they played against El Camino.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Metropolitan League. I said, okay, let me make this team. When I made the team, I went over to Coach Landry, who's sitting there and said, you ain't got nobody on that bench that can stop me.
Man, Brian, you know what I love doing?
Yeah.
I love tapping that subscribe button.
I love it too, son. And just like all your dates, I tap it last. But nothing's as good as tapping this button.
You see Brian here? He's not always doing the best. Financially, mentally, physically, for sure. You want to help keep Brian off the streets of Hollywood? There's a way you can help. Join us on Patreon. You want to tell them what we got on there, buddy?
Yes, we have the general admission, we have the backstage, and we have the VIP all-access pass. So please, join today. I'm due for a bath.
In the arms of the angel, Hey.
And I was just pumped up from that.
Yeah.
And he was standing there looking at me and said, you should have never cut me. And we played against him. And I went back that spring to go play because all the ball players go in one area, we'll go play. And he told him, get him out, tell him to get out of my gym. He said, I quote, he said, tell a nigga to get out of my gym. Coach Landry was black. He said, tell a nigga to get out of my gym.
Yeah.
I said, I leave. So I'm like, man, why you going off on him? You got a scholarship. You did 1 year and got a scholarship. I said, man, because he cut me. He shouldn't have cut me. You know. And guys, actually my motivation. And then I wind up going to Alaska.
Right.
And they told me they had film, and I went there. There they had radio and television. So I was doing radio and television.
You and a handful of other inner city brothers out there.
It was only 12 in the whole university.
Right.
5 was on the basketball team.
Yeah.
We still tight from this day forward.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I loved Alaska. It was fun.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did. I went out there and said, man, take me fishing. They took us to the river.
Hey.
And Rocco, my roommate at the time, he said, you can't fish. I said, man, I can fish. And we were catching grayling.
Okay.
You used to see the salmon floating up, dying and stuff. And we was catching grayling. But the funny thing, you're just some dumb kids out of the hood, man. We're flying over. We landed Seattle, Washington. All I heard was Washington. This is how much I paid attention in class. So we're flying over, and I'm asking my buddy, do you see the White House? You see the White House? I just see a bunch of trees. He said, man, that's in D.C. There's 2 Washingtons? I was looking for the White House, man. I was looking at trees, dude. I'm like, oh, we ain't never been nowhere. That was my first time on a plane.
Yeah.
I got on a plane with a suit and tie, and they were like, this your first time flying? Yeah. You supposed to wear a suit and tie?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at my buddy out on a sweatshirt. So this is my second time. You can wear sweatshirts and pants and stuff. I didn't know, you know. So I'm going away to meet these people, and then we got there, and there was all these people there to meet you at the airport. And that's when I start forgetting names. You know, take you in the first place, take you to the gym to show you the gym. But I didn't go visit school. I said I want to get out of LA, the further the better. And then went there. It was nice, but I mean, I don't think those guys was racist. I think they were in a time warp. But I remember Coach Lee said, "Catch the ball. What's wrong with you? run to catch a pass and go to the end. Catch the ball, what's wrong? You got an afro machine on your hands and saying all this stuff. I was talking about, but man, if he would have said that today, they would have had him in court.
Right.
I wouldn't have said nothing. I was just laughing. I thought it was funny.
Right.
And Rocco was half white, half black, so we heard jokes. Went downtown to do these Photoshops, and they were saying, we got on the van, they said, blacks in the back, Rocco, you get in the middle. So, you know, it was just the teammates, they cracking jokes and stuff, but, you know, all of us like a family.
It was a different time. People could joke.
It wasn't like...
And the people who the jokes were about didn't get mad.
No.
Like now, outside people get mad.
No,
you should have said that.
It was classical. We would talk about that stuff now and laugh. But I said, hey, man, that was classic, though.
Yeah.
You sit in the middle. I said, that was classic. So it's John Skidmore was the guy that said it. But, I mean, it was funny.
What about your buddy who had the fight with the street sign?
Oh, we were coming out the dorms. He got drunk. He was down there just pulling those street signs in the snow. I hate this place. He's just pulling them, legging them over to you. Lay down at 6'6". Rocco was big, man. He just pulled them over. He's laying in the snow. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? He's just laying there pulling the signs over. Signs are leaning over in the snow in Alaska. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it was fun. It was different. And I stayed there a semester. Because they were messing with our money, and I'm like, I'm out. I left and went to Oregon, Concordia University, stayed there for 4 days. The guy gave me a car, I got Nike stuff, and I'm like, Coach, this ain't working. We gave you a car, you can go to Portland State to take the films. You can go up there, take the classes, we'll pay for it. I'm out, this ain't working. Portland was cloudy all the time. Just you come out the hood, man, and everything's slow. You know what I mean. You think something's
Portland
gonna happen.
State, that wasn't Hersey Hawkins. Who was it?
We was at Concordia University.
Who led the country in scoring from?
That was he just died. What was his name? We were just talking about him the other day. He went to Manuart, went to Portland State. The Lakers wouldn't pick him up. He had an attitude.
Right.
What's his name?
Strange name, wasn't Hersey Hawkins?
Yeah, he can score. I played on a team with him. Pick up ball. He don't pass the ball.
Yeah.
I do to get 30, 40 points. The last game they were playing against them, and they won. And won that money. Now Marcus Johnson, what was that guy's name? They said he still lived with his mother. They had to go pick him up. What was his name?
No, he was only famous like us because
they just got him to get in the film.
Freeman Williams.
Freeman Williams, there you go.
Williams.
Freeman Williams, that's him.
Yeah.
Right there. There you go.
Oh, dude, he did just die.
Yeah, he just died.
He died on James Franco's birthday, April 19th.
He just died.
Fidel Castro, you mean?
Huh?
Fidel Castro.
He would not pass that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw, what's his name? Hank Gathers and the other cat.
Bo Kimball.
Bo Kimball down at Irvine when the Summer League was down there. He had 69 points in a Summer League game. He was trying to break 70 and Pooh Richardson would not pass him the ball. Would not.
Yeah.
He was
they do that.
He was just like,
Yeah.
He's like, I got 69, let me get the
Yeah,
ball.
they do that.
He was wide open. He was like, I ain't giving you the ball.
Yeah.
Fucking jealous motherfucker.
That's what Freeman Williams do. You playing that dude, look at him, would not pass the ball. He can shoot.
Yeah.
And I remember we was at that fast break action league in Cerritos we played in. This guy, it was a guy named Guy. That was his name, Guy Woods. He said, yeah, I got to pick him up. So where he live at? He live with his mother. I'm like, huh? Yeah, he lived with his mother over there by Manual Arts. And they said he was a head case. The Lakers picked him up for a minute. He was a head case.
Yeah.
Him, and for some reason they didn't take Raymond Washington either. Remember him?
You talk about
Raymond Washington played at Cal L.A.
You talk about Raymond Lewis.
Raymond Lewis, there you go.
I was just going to ask you if you knew Raymond Lewis.
Yeah.
The greatest street ball player ever to come out of Los
You
Angeles.
see that interview where they went and talked to him, and he was like kind of like homeless. He went on the court and just hitting 3-pointers. The LA Times did like.
I remember NBA Pro Summer League every year. He tore it up.
But see, those guys, they played 24/7. That's the problem with my college roommate. He told me a couple of weeks ago, man, I went to play pickup ball. Bro, you 55 years old with a pacemaker.
Yeah.
You playing pickup ball for? A lot of them are just stuck.
But it's part of his soul, man. I wish I could.
Nah,
play
you gotta
ball.
leave it alone. I left it, and see, that's why me and him had a problem talking, because he, about August of 2020, he said, man, you got any regrets? Regrets for what? You stopped playing basketball? No. I had no regrets for that, no. I looked at it like, I'm not going pro. I can go, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to practice that much. You practicing every day. It's spring. Summer league, conditioning practice, preseason, season, spring. You just playing.
Let me tell you, man, when I'm upset, nothing brings me more peace than hitting 4 shots in a row on a basketball court.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I can't play.
it's a tool. You use it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a tool. Use it till you get where you got to get, and then leave it alone. That's where these guys, they put all their marbles in one basket with that for football on down. You see what I'm saying? Then you come out, you just somebody that played sports. And the reason why, when I used to go to Manchester Park, you see these guys walk in, 6'10", 6'11". Man, who was that? Oh, that's so-and-so. What's the guy named that went to SC, and it was sad he wound up getting shot. They would come there, and there was one guy said, what are they doing now? They go pro, what you see them doing? They doing what you see them doing. Nah, man, they went there, they didn't get their education. They came back, they used to say they on the corner selling number 2 pencils. That's what they would say. And I forget the guy's name, Purvis Miller.
Oh, okay. Nervous Purvis?
Purvis Miller was at SC, not the Purvis that went to North Carolina. He was at SC.
Right, this was, yeah.
Went there,
He
played, he was in the
Purvis,
league, he beat his girlfriend up at the time, didn't make it, got frustrated. Moved to Louisiana, I believe. They said they told him he was down there playing on the CBA team. He wound up getting killed. Somebody shot him and killed him. But they're stuck, and that's how my buddy is. They're stuck. You're conditioned, man. You're taught. If I go out and play, I'm gonna listen to you breathe. You're taught all this stuff. I'm watching your movement, all that. I mean, I don't want to be in that frame of mind. You walk on that court, that's what they teach you. You go in the zone. Yeah. You shut down, you're looking at it.
Dad played on an AAU team, was it, Dwight Howard?
Yeah.
That Dwight Howard owned down in Florida.
Yeah, I played up till, like I was saying, it was ballsy for you to go to Alaska without ever having visited, because I went to visit some D2 schools like in North Carolina, and those were out in the middle of nowhere to where I was like, because I had the option to walk on football at UCF, like an actual bigger college, and my parents took me up to those small schools, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go play football, because these schools had like, this one had like just a train going through it. It was this tiny little like Fairbanks 5 hours from the nearest city.
Fairbanks was 7 miles from the nearest. It was cool, but everybody came to the campus. I didn't party, but a lot of people came to the campus to party. In fact, on Friday nights and Saturday, I would go out the back door. They had like one road. I'll go up this road, come all the way back around, go in, everybody be passed out. I didn't know what Everclear was. They were drinking Everclear and everything else. Yeah. And then I'd just go back and study, because the whole floors was just marijuana, smoke, everything. I'm like, I'm out. So I just had to get away from stuff like that, you know. Only thing that teach you coming out there, you don't let nobody punk you. Yeah. You know, you stand your grounds, you know. That was it. You can't run. Yeah. But I mean, you see so much stuff in there. Your buddies, either they're getting killed or they're getting locked up when you're there. So that's what you're escaping. Yeah. And then I think a problem with, like, when I write, I put a lot of realism in there. I don't really deal with just phony stuff. It's like that's not gonna happen. This will happen. Ain't no happy-go-lucky endings. Yeah. You know, like with The Last White Man. You know, the chaos and stuff. You wind up leaving. Your character left, but the house was given to the girl that needed it. Right. You know, I mean, that would happen. Yeah. He's not gonna stay there. You know how many people I stood in the parking lot when I was at work to see that film? I talked for like an hour to 2 hours to him about that film. Right. And I was like laughing. I said, well, the old man was saying stuff you wanted to say, huh? Yeah. Yeah. I said, that's why I did it that way. He wasn't a racist. No, he wasn't a racist. He's just a victim of circumstance. He's caught up in there. The community changed around him. He tried to get out. He didn't want to get out. He had too many memories. So he wasn't a racist. So what would you say to anybody if they're robbing you every day? And that pretty much happened to me when I was going to Red Hawk. I got robbed every day. 50 cents, you better pay me 50 cents tomorrow and hit you in your jaw. And these were my brother's friends. And I remember I go in the bathroom for third period PE, go in the bathroom, Maurice and Chauncey. Give me 50 cents. It was a little one, a big one. And the little one be trying to punk you. And if you do anything to the little one, the big one don't hit you. They taking 50 cents from me every day. You better make me 50 cents tomorrow. So I remember the last day of school I was leaving. I'm going down 92nd and Hoover. And someone's like, look behind you. I look behind you. I see these clowns running. Coming toward it. I took off running. You start running, I'm running down Hoover, I go through Manchester Park, I'm breathing so hard. You ever ran when you breathe like, I'm running, so I ain't gonna make it across this field. I gotta go across the field, go up 88 plays, cross figure, I ain't gonna make it. And he, when I was closing out, I started looking around, there was a man sitting on a bench. I didn't even know. I said, hey sir, can you help me? This guy trying to mess with me. He's a complete stranger, man. I think it was an angel. He said, who? I said, this guy's right there. He said, hey man, why y'all trying to mess with my nephew? They stopped in the middle of the field, kind of started scratching their head. He said, man, just stay here, they ain't gonna do nothing. And he wound up, I went to his house. The guy gave me a ride home. I don't know who that man was.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I ain't going over there. He gave me a ride home. Had a Mustang. Gave me a ride home. And I'm like, he's like, man, I ain't gonna mess with you. I was like, I ain't going back to school. Then I got bused in the Valley, went to Sequoia Junior High School, then went to Reseda, and then went to Birmingham. I said, I wasn't going to Fremont, I wasn't going to Rock. Because they don't even have football. You know, they football games are in the daytime.
Right.
And you go in the Valley, it's at night. So the problem was in the Valley, we had the late bus, but the late bus would bring you home. If you're standing for a football game, you going home at 12 on Friday nights.
Right.
My buddy's mother used to pick us up. Otherwise, you walking through the war zone. And that's where everything started jumping off.
Yeah.
So that was the crazy thing about it. But we always had somebody to take us home.
Yeah.
And my bus stop was 95th and butt long. At night where they dropped us off.
It's not Bud Long, it's Butt Long.
Butt long. When I was in the 9th grade, it was
Okay.
92nd and Figueroa.
Because it ain't Baldwin Hills, it's Baldwin Hills.
Baldwin Hills. Baldwin Hills was really never was bad.
No. Baldwin,
like-
unless
that was
you're in
like
the
the Black
foothills where
Beverly
they
Hills.
built all those apartments and
That
they
was
got
Black
the,
Beverly Hills.
they got the gardens down there. They got like a
Yeah.
nice looking projects down
Yeah.
there, the gardens.
Yeah.
So-
that was Black Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Never was bad over there.
No.
You know, I think it.
You remember when I used to ride motorcycles there in the oil fields?
Yeah.
All the brothers would be on the motocross
Yeah.
bicycles?
Devil's Dip was behind Southwest College.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
No. I don't
Yeah, they
remember
had
that.
dirt trails there where they rode their bikes and
Oh,
stuff. They called it
man.
Devil's Dip.
Just
and
in
that
Baldwin
stuff
Hills.
jumped off over there too.
In the oil fields, it was crazy, man. There was a guy named Dave Graham. He lived on Wilton in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to take him out to the motocross out in Indian Dunes.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be the only black dude there, and he would tear it up.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
He never came in second.
Mm-hmm.
People were just looking at his ass going down there. He was unbelievable, man. He got all fucked up on something, drugs or something, man. But he tripped out, but he broke his leg twice. But he had no fear, man. He was unfucking believable on that track.
The fear
only
goes,
black dude
bro.
out there.
It goes after a while when you grow up around that stuff. That fear goes.
Yeah.
You can smell fear on people. It's just like, okay, what I got to lose? Let me just go and do this.
What about when that dude was beating that white dude up?
And we was in Culver City.
And he was on the ground.
Yeah, that was Culver City. Me and Mark Booker was walking, and this guy, we just walked up. This is how numb we are. You walk up, brother on top of this white boy beating him up. We like, damn, we having a conversation. What you beating him up for? It wasn't a racial thing. He said he know what he did. Move your hand. He said something. Move your hand. He just do, help me, guys, help me. And we're like, well, what the fuck did you do? What did you do? And the guy's like, hitting him. Where you come from? You don't get involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, it's 1-on-1. He can't handle it. Okay, now if he start beating me, hey, okay man, come on, get up off him. So we went to the store and came back. He was still beating him. It's like, damn man, you still? You know, but we never found out what happened. But he was on top of the guy. I mean, you didn't let that get in your business.
Yeah.
You don't get in nobody's business when they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how numb you become.
That's right.
If it's your friend or something, you can go up and say, and we walk out and now somebody jump, hey man, you good?
Mm-hmm.
You say, nah. All right, hey man, you break it up. Hey man, come on man, get up out of here.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm good. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So you watch and make sure nobody else jump in. These guys now, they pack rack people.
Yeah.
I remember I was walking with my friend when I first got to the waterfront, and these youngsters came up and they blocked the sidewalk. You know how they do that. If you cross the street, they're gonna punk you. So you gotta keep walking. So I took the one and just picked him up and sent him to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, come on, dude, get out of with that shit. And we kept walking. They was like, okay. They said, damn, OG picked you up, put you to the side. Why you don't walk and bump into me?
Mm-hmm.
He bumped their shoulders or something. That's why they start something. I remember with little youngsters, picked him up, set him to the side.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. The youngsters don't really respect the older people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
I remember
especially
dropping my
now.
daughter off. She went into a store, and these cats was hanging out. You hood. You sitting. I'm sitting in the car watching. I said, okay, I'm waiting for her to go in there. When she went in, I said, if they say anything to her, they can speak. If she ignore them, and they'll call her a bitch, I'm out this car.
You've been watching Brian Lally, Hollywood Native. Now I want to talk to you about something I'm really passionate about, and that's teaching acting. So I co-founded LOLAS Acting School with my son, Kyle Lally, Lally Acting School. I've been acting for a long time now. I have 100 plus credits on IMDb, hundreds of plays I've been involved with over the years, and I just want to share that experience with you.
What we do differently here at LOLAS is we give you practical advice that you can use on a movie set, on a play, an audition, anywhere. We give you the foundation to build yourself as a great actor.
If you come to us, you don't know anything, we can teach you everything you need to know to be comfortable on a set and to excel. Don't just listen to me. Look at what our students are doing. Daryl Wesley, who is writing on 2 hit shows, The Game and The Upshaws, and Ben Barrett, who's a series regular on The Politician, Megan Davis, who is playing Amber Heard in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard story. Come check us out. We're at the Historic Art Theater in the NoHo Arts District. You ever want to try plant-based eating?
I have.
What, you're a little confused, overwhelmed, you don't know how to get started?
Definitely.
Well, there's a simple answer to that. Go to Debbie Chew's Chew On Vegan YouTube channel. Debbie Chew is a plant-based RN. I've known Debbie for over 38 years, and she's very good at what she does. You go to the channel, and there's over 300 recipes. They're simple, easy to make, and they're delicious. If you want to try it, you just might get healthy. Give it a shot. Chew On Vegan.
I was sitting there just watching. They didn't say nothing. They didn't speak, and they didn't say anything. I was okay. I would have been on them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, that's my daughter. Who you talking to like that? You know, it's stuff like that. It motivates you.
Yeah.
So when did you start making your first film?
I made my first film. The first feature?
Well, no, the first short. When
The
you
first short was
started?
at LA City. It was called The Feeding the Animals. You know, we got the chickens and the pigeons in the backyard.
Right.
So my mother was a foster parent. She had a couple of foster kids. I showed them, videotaped them, filmed it with 8mm, them feeding those birds, feeding the birds and chickens.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
And then the second one I did was Life is What You're Looking For. I took a bunch of stills and shot it.
Mm-hmm.
And had the Weird Science album from the movie Weird Science. Took a song off there and put on there and used it. And I just shot these shots. I was getting a kick out of doing stuff like that because you had the audience attention. Because what they'll do, you'll shoot it and they'll all sit there and watch it.
Right.
And they'll write their comments and stuff. But you have to go up in the end and they would ask you questions. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? That's where you start saying, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense here.
Right.
I can make it say what I want it to say.
Right.
And it was like, what'd you get? Really, it was just pictures that I found interesting. I shot them, made a collage of them, and shot them and put music to it. And so, oh, that looks pretty good. Look like it's saying something.
Right.
But I was looking for a rhythm
Mm-hmm.
in those pictures.
Yeah.
You know, it's a rhythm. It's just like when you edit or you write, it's a
Right.
rhythm. You can shoot a film, and when you start cutting and editing, it takes its own form.
Yeah.
It's just where it's going when you're cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like when I write, I try to get that rhythm in a dialogue.
Right.
In the dialogue, I'll sit there and I'll rewrite a scene 15, 20 times.
Sure.
Just to make sure it sounds natural and it's flowing. I'm working on a scene this morning when I got up. Now, right early in the morning when my mind is fresh, ain't nothing on it. But it was that, and then that particular professor, I did one film, which I still have it. I did a short. I was going to do it. He talked me out of not doing it. It was just basically a story where this guy, you see this report where there was a serial killer out in this neighborhood, and this lady's walking down the street, and this guy's following her. And you see all these different shots of you following her, and in the end, he goes up to her and says, your shoe's untied.
Right.
The guy says, this guy can put tension on paper, but you can't do that shot, and you can't do this shot. I knew I can get the shot. You work with me.
Right.
I knew I can get the shot. So what they did, they start telling you to do the full shot, the medium close-up, and then the close-up.
Right.
I did it when I did Christianity. That was the first feature.
Right.
And we went to cut that film. We cut it and put it together, and I threw the film in the trash.
Right.
Because I'm like, that ain't what I wanted, you know. And raise money. Then you got to face these people that you raise money with, and they're like, man, that's okay. We know what you were trying to do. But you start looking at that tension.
Right.
And you can't listen to what everybody's, like what your project will say, hey man, make a feature out of it.
Mm-hmm.
When people start saying, do this and do it that way, blah, 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 when it comes to your creativity, I never told him what to do on the set. Did I ever tell you what to do?
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
I can look at him, give it to him one more time. You see him getting into it. You can say cut, and Brian be like, hey, can I do that one more time? You already know. And you see him competing with, him and Greg was going back and forth with each other. So you already know, you pretty much see it.
Yeah.
So it was like, when he was saying, and that professor said that, I abandoned that. And then when I shot Christianity, and when we went to Tinseltown, I did it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And started going to the style I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I even did a short, because I like putting the camera in your face, making this stuff move.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put the audience in there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to control their thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you want to put them in there.
Yeah.
You know, and then like they were easy. Some of these actors just easy to cut.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut with him; he's easier. You'll cut something with Brian. You'll be like, man, I got 4 different ones I want to use.
Yeah, I know.
So you'll take this part, put this over here, and try. Yeah, so it happens like that.
Yeah.
That was all in Super 8. I got a Super 8 projector. I still have all that stuff.
Film school wise, your experience at LA City College was like what really got you your wheels turning on?
I think it was LA City.
Did you go in there thinking like, I know I want to be a filmmaker, or was it more out of like, I know I'm interested in this?
No, I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But it's just you learning, you going in the equipment room, you getting the equipment, you getting your lights. I thought it was just pretty cool to put a hood on the camera, the hood lens. I found out it made it darker because I didn't have enough light coming in the lens, so
Yeah.
you see stuff like that. But no, that was it. And then when I went to UAF, Universal Alaska Fairbanks, that's when you start, you still got that rush from shooting that, and they got radio and television. You're like, okay, well, I'll try this. And we were on a Rockwell shot a show, and they had the 3 camera setup, television theater. So you kind of like, okay, this is cool, but I'd rather do film. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to San Bernardino, Cal State San Bernardino, they had the same thing there.
Yeah.
So when I went to SC, it was there. But SC, SC picked and choose who they wanted to shoot films at the time. A lot of nepotism.
Yeah.
So I learned production scheduling. I had George Lear, and I had Edward Dimitrick, as functions of a director, and then Professor Shepard taught us the theory of Chaplin. I love Chaplin films. Chaplin shot without a script, which was interesting.
Yeah.
But George Lear was teaching us how to break down scripts. And he told me one time, you know what? You would get an A+ in here if you just stayed with the class. I said, what do you mean? Remember I was saying how Jackie's corporate head? And I'm like, bro, you sitting there, we'll break a scene down, say, okay, we need a knife, we need a gun, where we're going to shoot this at, blah, 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 blah. You start asking questions about each one of these, just move on. Then that goes into a Y50 story. I don't want to hear your stories. I'm young.
Yeah.
But I got the concept. It's like, okay, and I still have that production board that I did. So that's where that helped, and you start seeing everything from it. Do you need film school? No. You don't need it. If you got talent, you got talent. Because they don't make you go work on a set as a production assistant. You guys have like techniques with the acting and stuff, right? Yeah, you watch him and see what he was doing. He was on the Last White Man's set. That was pretty interesting. To see him tell me you got to do this and do that. Or I don't know what you were telling him. You kept running over to the truck when he was at Tams.
Yeah.
He would run over to the truck, get in there and tell him something, come back out.
Yeah.
I didn't interfere with that. But I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
If you got it, it's just like somebody got to do music.
Yeah.
It's a natural born talent. You got it, you got it. You don't, eventually you're going to find out you don't have it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can look at other filmmakers and catch on to what they're doing. I don't copy their styles, but you can look and see what they're doing, and each one you get better with it. That's all.
Yeah.
When did you meet up with Bill Cosby?
Oh, that was in 2011.
Was it 2011?
2011. I was at the waterfront working and sent the script in, and I figured, I'll win this. This is decent. And it was that Doreen Hamilton called me. I'm driving a truck down there. She said, you just got a fellowship to come in here. Where? Bill Cosby, what was that? Marvin Guy Hanks and Marvin Miller screenwriter. Oh, okay, it's in, you can look it up, 2011. So I went down there, and she was sitting in her office and just had me sitting there for about an hour. That's why I got a ticket on my car. I'm like, man, is this worth it? The office asked in the cinema department, which was all new, and that was pretty funny. I told you what she did in there. Did I ever tell you? We went in there and started writing. They broke us up in groups. It was a feature group and television group of writers. And I remember she stood there and she said, one of you guys in here is faking and you're not a writer. And I'm going to find out. She's looking at me. What the hell is she talking about? So we left that little orientation, went back, and we had our producer, and we had to pitch what script we were going to write. We pitched it to him. And I had this guy named Dwayne Cochran Johnson. He kept turning down whatever I pitched. He turned down 3 times. Now, I said, okay, he's cutting into what I'm trying to do. And I just went in there and I just read a pitch to him. He said, yeah, write that. I pitched him the Eventful Happening one at the time.
Oh, yeah?
He said, write that. I said, okay, this script is already written. I'm going to just go tighten it up and give it to him. We had to give him 30 pages every month, 30, 60, 90. So I remember one day we was in there, and he would take the scenes and they would read them. And I told him, hey man, stop fumbling over my work. Take my work home and read it. Everybody looked at me. I said, take my work home and read it. He looked at, huh? I said, take my work home and read it. Don't sit there and read it amongst them. I said, you get a better feel for when you take it home. Yeah. And they were like, wow, why'd you tell him that? So I told him, I'm not listening to nothing you say. I'm here for you to He did, what was this film? Love in Action in Chicago or something like that with Regina King. Oh. It was horrible. And he's sitting there telling us, I said, man, I'm not listening to you. I've seen your work. Now that's just being real. I'm not listening. He said, oh, okay, take my work home and read it. I'm like, you either add to what I'm doing, you're not subtracting from it. Yeah. And he did a silly film with some kid drinking out of a white water fountain. Black kid couldn't drink out this white water fountain. Him and Rusty Cundiff. Rusty Cundiff was in there too. I was shocked. And then Cosby called us. He was in there talking, and I was just like, wow. Fuck these white people. Shoot the films you want to shoot. They don't give a fuck about you. I'm like, wait a minute, this is Cliff Huxtable? Yeah. I'm like, wow. Yeah. He's saying all this stuff, and he was talking about this girl, Deborah. She lived in Orange County. I quote what he said. He said, when your ass and your titties got big, white people wouldn't let you play with their kids no more, would they? I'm like, is this dude drunk? Y'all hold on, I gotta go pee. I'm like, okay. I didn't even go back the last day. I said, I'm not coming back here, fuck this. Yeah. It was like they were playing more with your mind. And Cosby wouldn't take no scripts from us. Here's the Disney guy coming in and saying, hey, we take scripts, we pay our fellows. You're not paying us. You send a percent up. And that was the last time they said that they weren't funding it no more. And Doreen said, don't go out and tell nobody. And then all that stuff came down with Cosby, with those women. And I remember one of the writers called me, he said, hey man, let's go get some coffee. I went to Starbucks in Hollywood. He said, man, you remember what Bill told Deborah? Yeah, your ass and your titties got big. I quoted. The white people wouldn't play with you. He said, man, everybody there talking about they don't know what happened. They start taking the fellowship they won off their resume. I said, I'm keeping that on there. I won. I said, I ain't taking that off of there. Yeah. I said, what he did with those women ain't got nothing to do with me. I won that award. So that shows you how fake people are. And that cat was sitting there just, he said, but everybody talking about they remember. I said, they remember. They just, dude, they playing the game. They remember. You know, now, would I take an interview and talk? No, I wouldn't, no. Because he did me a favor. I wouldn't talk about it. Yeah. I wouldn't, oh yeah, Bill Clinton. No, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. But I seen the side of him, I was like, wow. Yeah. And I said, this guy was telling Eddie Murphy not to curse. Right. So you get a whole different approach to it. Yeah. And from this day forward, those people don't, Cosby, they get in there and talk all that black stuff. They don't support me. I don't see one like on there from the last white man. Right. They don't support you. No. Yeah, so when my buddy be talking about it, I said, man, we don't support each other. Okay, I'm not gonna get in and say stuff just to get on your little bandwagon. If you're good with me, you're good to me. I'm good to you. That's what it is.
Yeah. Pushing that divide as much as they can.
Yeah. Watchcom didn't take our work. He was established. He didn't take our work. He was a producer. He should have took our work and said, "Let me push this." No. No, he didn't do that. That's why I told him I ain't listening to you. Then he had the other guy that came in, Charles Murray. He did Things Never Said. He did that film. He coming there talking shit. You're just sitting there looking at these guys like, wow. He just came there to see what his competition was.
Yeah.
Man, you go up in the hood, you know what they doing. When you get a bunch of us around, you know what's going on. And see, I don't care. I say it. It's like, okay, they in competition. Charles Murray said, you guys ain't taking no food off my plate. I said, hey, I eat off a platter, bro. I ain't trying to take no food off your plate. They said, we thought you guys would get along. So we was on Facebook, and he did a little crummy movie Things Never Said. I told him, you should have called that Things Never Shot. And he got mad as hell. And he got hired to work on, oh man, it was something with the guy that did The Butler. And they fired him. He was a showrunner, and they fired him. I said, you don't know nothing. You don't know anything.
Right.
So it was, you just seen that fear. Shahari took me to lunch and said, they thought your scripts were fake. They thought you had some. That's how I wrote those scripts. Okay? That's why Doreen said what she said. One of you guys in here is faking, I'm going to find out. I'm just like, wow. So I wouldn't even go back there and take any pictures with them, none of that. They got my picture in there. You can look it up. I'm up in there, but I'm like, I ain't taking no final pictures with them. They had a reunion. I didn't go.
Right.
I had like a 10-year reunion. Rob, you coming? No. No, I'm not coming. I'm real. I'm not coming over there with you guys. They were waiting for me too.
Right.
So they throw some ideas at me. I'm like, I ain't coming in with you guys. No. Y'all fake. You guys are fake. I'm not messing with y'all. That's what that growing up in the hood teacher. This dude's cool. He's cool. He's like a brother. You treat him like a brother. I was out there working. This guy, he made Boston, Jason, brother. Come up one day, and I'm signaling, and this lady was asking me about college. I pulled my phone out and said, here, gave her my phone. That's my son and daughter went to go visit. You go visit the college. You just go to orientation, visit, you meet people. Get their numbers and talk to them. Gave him that, brother pulls up. Put that damn phone away. Now I know him. That's just like me coming up to you.
Right.
See, you joking, right? He said no. He drove off to that. I said, oh, okay. It's about 2 weeks later, he came over to that site. He said, hey man, what's up? I said, fuck you, don't talk to me. And I said in front of everybody. I said, fuck you, don't talk to me. He's like, dude, you told me to put my phone up. I thought we were cool. I ain't fucking with you. Fuck you, get out of my face. He's following me. So I went up to this guy named Chris. Chris is a little white guy. Everybody thought he was a skinhead. Got a goatee. Chris is buff. I walked up to him. I said, you see this guy right here? Everybody say he's a skinhead. That's my buddy. He's not a skinhead. Chris just standing like, oh shit. I'm like, no, he's real cool. I said, we broke bread together. That's my buddy. I stand up for him. I said, just like you should have stood with me. You shouldn't have said nothing. I wasn't even on the phone. I gave the phone to the woman she was looking at.
Yeah.
I was just playing. You don't play with me like that. You weren't playing. Okay? So I had to tell him. They put you out there to get on people like me. You're a house nigga. I'm telling in front of everybody. I ain't care.
Yeah.
I said, that's what you are. That's why you over here telling on us. Everybody else work with each other. Okay? These Mexicans work with each other. White boys work with each other. You don't come over here and put your phone away. You're a house nigga. Master told you to come over here. I said, these people don't give a fuck about you. Then one day he was out there working. The superintendent came up to him and said, go back to work. I said, wow. He went right back to work. Superintendent not supposed to tell a boss what to do. When you know that union stuff down there. Guy was begging me. I said, nah, dude, don't ever do that. Because I wouldn't do you like that. I wouldn't put you on blast.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. You don't give them a pass on it. That's the stuff you take from the hood. You real, you real.
Yeah.
But it's just, the dude was just fake.
Yeah.
And that sometimes people can't handle that. Oh, I'm not going to sit there and bite my tongue.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So people are going to say it anyway. They ain't going to say it in front of you. They're going to say it behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Edward Dimitri taught us. From the Hollywood 10s.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was there, see? He was like, man, you got to look at Beverly Hills Cop? Well, fuck Beverly Hills Cop. I'm like, a little bitty, fuck Beverly Hills Cop. That was asinine. Truck go through and tearing up everything in the goddamn city. Where's the fucking cops? I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
He said, that shit doesn't happen. You know, he said, that's not realistic. And that's what he told us. He started talking about his movie Crossfire and all the stuff he did. He bring it in and he tell us. He said, put realism on the film, keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
Little rich kids was getting mad.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm like, okay, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him, I listened to him. He said, man, he was telling us, put that shit in the drawer. Pull it out 10 years later and look at it. All that stuff you shouldn't put in the drawer 10 years later. You're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't argue. I listened to him and said, it's real.
Yeah.
So, you know, and here's a guy when the Hollywood 10s was getting locked up, you know, for saying he was communist. He's teaching me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, real cool. Good guy. It was only 2 brothers in the room.
Right.
Yeah. So, man,
It's awesome.
well, that was it.
So when did you become a magician with this post-production?
I would look at those films and I'm like, let me go back and cut this again and cut that again. And then I got that Filmora, bought that software program, and they got second unit work that you can put with it. And a lot of that stuff is time. I never did really like doing trailers, but a lot of that stuff started, it was just timing. So like I said, once I got away from that waterfront, my mind's solid now. I can edit and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, but it was a year ago you did Hunting for Women, and
I
you
went
called
back and recut it.
Yeah.
I knew that film would work overseas. It wouldn't work here.
Well, I know, but you made the film look like we shot it in London.
Yeah, I downloaded footage and found it and used it and put it in there, stretched the images, bled the color out of it, and threw it over there to London. I knew they would like it. They have a different approach. People here are too busy trying to be politically correct.
Right.
So that's what I did. I knew it would win. I knew it when I sent it over there. Not to be cocky, because where do the jazz musicians players go? They go to London. They go over there and play in Europe. So it's a whole different outlook. So if you're not saying what somebody wants you to say here, they got a problem with it.
Right.
Well, Maya Angelou said, fuck it, write the stories you want to write. See, I can look at that piece you showed me, I'm laughing, because I can relate to it. How many people look at this and say, he's whipping him with a belt?
Yeah. Someone always
That's
gotta
child
say it.
abuse.
Right.
No, it's not. He's getting his ass whipped. Spare the rod, spoil the trial.
Yeah.
I got my ass whipped all the time. I don't have a police record, never been in jail. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, don't drink.
Yeah.
Okay?
How many times you been to the Union?
The Union.
Yeah.
What?
You told me one time that you never had to go to the Union for a problem.
No, never.
Well, that's what I mean.
No.
Yeah, because you were just talking
never.
about laying out what you've
Never.
done, and I said you never went to the Union. And why is that?
So I did what I was supposed to do. My
22 years, right?
22 years. My phone was blowing up. How did you retire? I said, why don't you read? I took a ding, but I'll get it back because I'll get a raise. I'll get a raise. I was worried about the contract. And, well, what's going on with the contract? I don't want to work here if I get the buyout. When the contract's signed, you'll get everything. You'll get it all the way up to this point. Okay. Well, why am I in here? Okay, if I'm in here, you're taking 47% from me, and they're going to take 10% from me in a pension? Fuck it, I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
And I left. And I can focus more on what I want to do,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So you did Hunting for Women, but then we shot The Last White Man. And that won some awards.
When it was a punish, it wouldn't win anything.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming.
that it?
I'm coming back on the freeway
Right.
from Arizona, and it was like, change it into The Last White Man. God was like, change it to The Last White Man. I said, okay, that'll draw attention. I said, okay, change it. Boom. And then did you see the book? The guy wrote a book called The Last White Man.
No.
Oh yeah, somebody wrote a book that came out in August. And that other guy was riding our tail. He called his film The Last White Man, changed it. It was black and white, it was about a skinhead. Oh yeah, and so a lot of people getting it mixed up. They were going and looking at his film thinking it was ours.
Right.
Even Eric at Random, he's like, wait a minute, give me that poster you had in black and white with the American flag. I said, what are you talking about? It don't have Brian on it. I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he sent it, I said, I didn't do that. That's not my film, that's a short. And then the guy made it a feature. Then he was riding our coattail. He damn sure was. He changed it and made it a feature. So people were getting mixed up seeing his film over ours, but his didn't cost anything. It's a black and white film called The Last White Man. It's actually pretty good.
Right.
I watched it.
You can go after him
No. When you get that that insurance is pretty interesting. When they tell you there's an emission insurance, that's pretty interesting because they said insure the film up to $10 million.
Right.
And that's when, if anybody tried to sue, it's already paid for and covered.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk to the guy, and just artist to artist, I would work with him. I would just told him, that's fucked up what you did. You know what you did, bro. You changed your name. You just coattailed me. But it's a good little film.
Right.
It's a good little film. It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, I give him credit. It's good. I sat there and watched the whole thing. You know, I wouldn't even hate on it.
Yeah.
And maybe you should have came up with a different name because I had it first. But I get it. You know, people do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like when I seen this thing, man, make it a feature. And I'm telling that because if you say I got a feature, they're going to look at you faster. Now you going to say, I was thinking about doing this. Yeah, you dismantle it and do it what you want to do. Get in the door and talk to them. I'm pretty much in the door now. I found out some things I couldn't do. But I can't just put a raggedy script out now. I got to make sure I look over things.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. But they love this guy. They love him.
Yeah.
You know. But it was good changing it like that, changing the title.
Right.
It was good.
It's great. You put your 2 kids through college. You and Jackie, your wife, is a great lady. Never want to discount Jackie.
Thanks.
And so they both graduated. They're in the working world. You just retired last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago.
Last week, I got my letter.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Longshoreman's Union, doing your time.
Didn't get hurt, thank God.
Huh?
Didn't get hurt. Could have been killed out there.
So now you got your focus on filmmaking.
Film and writing.
Yeah.
Editing.
I want to talk more about you and your post-production work. I always said you make a $5 film look like $1 million film. And I don't know what drove you to that and drove you to learning that at a, at a certain age. You're not like a teenager, and you picked all this stuff up, and you did some incredible stuff with these films in the post-production. So I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, that's why we're talking to artists here. So that's definitely an artistic turn you took with this. We're making films. We're on the streets of South Central Los Angeles.
I told you you couldn't mess with it. We didn't need the permits.
Right. What does your mom call that lady that was walking by?
I forget what they call her.
Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe
Is that
Young.
what
There
you
you
called
go.
her?
Yeah. I heard she died. I don't know. Take her a copy of the film. She died.
That's unfortunate. She was very nice.
Signed the copy and gave it to the guys at town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so Tam's number what?
I don't know what number it was.
Tam's got some good food though.
I'm gonna say this: when these people start talking about the money they spending for these films, they're lying. They're lying.
Right.
Okay, and if Hollywood is ran by so-called Jews, what is it saying on Jews? And it ain't a racial thing. They said they tight. They don't spend money. Nobody spend no $200 million on a film. That's a lie. They make it look like they spent $200 million. If you go on the back lot, you got all that stuff to go there and shoot. What's exposing them now is digital, all this.
Right.
Okay? That's what's exposing them. So I sat around, I remember they told us at SC film would be obsolete in the year 2000.
Right.
Now, if you read Spike Lee's book or John Pearson's book, Spike, Mike, Slackers, and Dyke, look how they had to pay so much money to get those films processed right after they shot. We talking 200, 300,000. Okay, that was in the labs. Now, when we did Tinseltown, this guy named Kevin Szarski took me in there and he was cutting the thing on Avid. That's when Avid came out.
Right.
And I'm sitting there watching him every night and said, wow. He cut the opening for us, which was pretty cool. So I just look at it and I'm like, okay, you can get this footage, get that footage, let me cut it. And you can cut it and clean it up, and it has sound, audio mixing, everything in there. That's on that little bitty system called Filmora, Wondershare. It's
Right.
Filmora. And I can cut it in Adobe and bring it out of that and put the whole master in there. I can color grade it, drop different filters over it, color grade it, sweeten the audio up. I can do the letterbox and do whatever I want with it. And then I found out that they have the second unit working there. So when you see the shots of the city coming down, that's all on there. In that trailer, the Heathen trailer.
Right.
All that stuff is in there. The lady with the sword, all that's in there. I said, wow, they got this in there. Well, these other people had it where they want you paying for it. Story blocks, places like that. And I just happened to look on here and they had the footage. I'm like, oh, I don't need these guys. Like I was telling you about the locations.
Right.
You can go and get these locations where you pay $40 or $39 an hour. Locations like this and all that, homes, lofts and stuff. Like you're in New York.
Right.
I bought all my equipment.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'll do this.
Like share space.
Yeah.
I think is one of the apps.
I forget the other one. Yeah, they got everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like $39. Oh, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot fast anyway.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, okay. So it's kind of like that, and then I got more time. I can sit there. A lot of stuff I cut it like in one day, and I'll go back and look at it. But I can cut it like in that day and go on. The time go too fast for me. I look up, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I gotta go to sleep.
Right.
And I'll get up and sleep a couple hours, get up and look at it again. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's ready. So I'll throw it on Facebook to see what people say.
Right.
Then you can shorten it up and whatnot, but it's just, I got more time to focus on it. You know, that's all it is, right? It's when they tell you, oh, it costs this much, you grow up poor, come on, man. When I was in college in San Bernardino, I said, give me a 10-pound bag of potatoes and a can of chili. We'll eat all week. Make the chili cheese fries and make chili hash brown. Come on, man. You can take cornmeal and make cornmeal mush out of it. See, and then a loaf of bread, you get stuff rice, butter and sugar and rice. You eat stuff gonna stick to your ribs. So yeah, I already know how to do that stuff.
Right.
So everybody want to put a price on everything. It's not that expensive. I told people that were trying to shoot, I said, go buy your camera. You got $500, go buy your camera off Amazon. Get your little Canon camera. They sell the whole kits now. That's where I got my first one from.
Right.
They sell rigs, everything on there. I said, go get a camera. See, what people do, they would ask for this GoFundMe shit, and they'll like, I'm gonna go use somebody else's money. If I fail, fuck it, I didn't fail. That's their money. But if it's your money, you're gonna look at it a little bit different. Right. You know, because that's what they told us when they tell you go in here and work as a production assistant. You go in here and you start asking, you meet people, you network to find out what's what. You get these people to help you. Like he's talking about his project. Oh, I help him with his project. I ain't got no problem with that. You see what I'm saying? I see he's serious. Okay, that's what it is. See, you're serious. Come on, man. I ain't never took no money from you. Right. Have I?
No.
Like, get out of here, dude. You help me, I help you. Right. You know. And I'm like, if I'm shooting something for you, I'm getting more experience. If I'm cutting something for him, that's more stuff on my resume.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I always talk about Seth Rogen was talking to a class at UCLA. I was there, film class. And he said, you know, if you come up to me and ask me for help and I ask you what you've done, you say nothing, I'm not interested. Because everybody has a phone. And they can make 3-minute, 5-minute, whatever. And I can see that you're serious about getting it done. So, you know, I mean, that's what it's about. People can get stuff done.
Like I said, I've seen his and I'm like, make it a feature. Make it a feature. Put it all together and then look at it and then you can make your decision from there. You know, but you got this 90-minute piece. However long you want to take it. What do you say? You got 27 minutes?
The first episode's 28, but if everything was on there, it'd probably be like hour 20 range, I would guess.
You got a feature. Yeah. So you put it together and see what you can do with it. You can send it to people and see what they say. And then once you're in there, you can talk to them. Well, I was thinking about doing this, that, and the other. Yeah. And they're like, okay. Yeah. Like I still say Jenna and them should do a 30-minute piece with that 2 girls. Right. Still say that. Right. And there was no script. Right. They strictly ad-libbed, and I had to cut it and put it together. And I sent it out to people, and they said, man, it's pretty good. Yeah. Right. So they can do like a 30-minute piece on that. But that's what it is. You network and help, use everybody work together, get what they want to get. That's what it is. That's the way I see it. Yeah. I always tell them, you need a camera, I got a camera. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? Charge you? What kind of bullshit is that? Yeah. You know, like I got 2 cameras, I got lights, I bought another set of lights the other day. It just came. I got to open them up and look at it to light the walls up.
Yeah.
We want to color that wall. Just light it green. I made sure I got gels and stuff. I got a prison backdrop, like a cell. I said, oh, we can go rent this over here, but I still got a backdrop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like that. And it's just sitting there. I'm like, you need something, shoot it.
Yeah. Use your resources and get it done.
That's what you do. It's like, you don't sit up here, I need to raise some, man, I got all that. Come on, let's shoot. What you trying to do?
Yeah.
So he gets what he wants. That's something under my belt, something on your resume.
Yeah.
That's all it is. People don't think like that.
Right.
You don't think like that, you know. And that's what you do. If you do that, you're fine.
You ever thought of teaching a class?
No, not really. I'll teach one. I'll teach one.
You kill it for sure.
No, I'm just saying. But the thing is that the most important part of the class, and this is why I always said since I first met you that I worked with you every time, is that you're getting it done.
Yeah.
You were putting 2 kids through school. I mean, we known each other 23 years or something.
Yeah.
Putting 2 kids through school.
Ryan came out in 3 years because he listened.
Right.
You know?
Putting them through school, working at the docks, and making films on the weekend. I said, I'm in. I'm in because that's, you know, we didn't really know each other, and that's why I wanted to be part of it, because you were getting it done. And I think the class that you could teach is be called Getting It Done.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting around
Stop
for things to
playing
be
around.
perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
you can get a camera, you can get phones, you can get whatever, and get it fucking done.
There's a guy that came out of U of A, a little brother, D. Fidarius. He's on YouTube. And he talks, and I'm like, I want to send him a script so bad and say, man, let's work together. I said, he's a little bit too technical for me.
Right.
He's one of those film school techies. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just shut up and film.
Right.
You hear that, and you walk in and you hear all that. I'm like, shut up. They ain't filmmakers. They just talking.
Yeah.
And he made a film, and he put it out, and they burnt his ass. And I'm like, yeah, because it was something about you. You trying to act in the film. You see, you don't have no stories. Nobody care about you. Tell a story. And he had it all about what he went through with his mother.
Right.
And it never got picked up. He can shoot.
Yeah.
But I'd love to give him a script and say, hey, man, be my cameraman.
Right.
Yeah, he went through something. He had some type of breakout. I think it's stress. But, you know, it's just like when I got my kids to school. I took this Spanish class at SC. They said, this is the first and last day we speak in English to you. And these white kids in there. I was the only brother in there. But this kid was in a military suit. They all spoke 3 different languages. I said, man, how many languages you speak? 3? I mean, you speaking Spanish fluently? 3, you, 3, you, 3. I said, damn. He said, man, we went to private school. So what are you talking about? He said, well, you think we up there? No. I'm asking you, what are you talking about? He said, we went to private school. You ever have kids, put them in private school. This is in 1988. I said, okay, what's the point? He said, they keep them 2 to 3 grades. They had their original grade. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, we all went to private school. He said, if you ever had kids, put them in private school. And I never forgot that. And what did I do with Megan and Ryan? I put them in private school.
Yeah.
Had to pay money, you know, especially when Ryan went to Bishop Montgomery.
Right.
Oh my God, that's like Little West Point.
Yeah.
But when those kids graduate, oh, they didn't play there. You late, you got detention.
Yeah.
First day, you late, you got detention. You got 2 weeks to do it. You pick when you gonna do it.
Yeah. Public schools just jumping through hoops and
Yeah.
churning out workers.
Yeah. And then with another guy, I was working for Shoreway. He said, I went to private school. They took us out, went to Santa Monica. As soon as my mother dropped us off, we left. This dude was so damn smart. He was like my boss on the weekend. He said, I said, man, why you not here during the week? He thought, Rob, I work 24 hours Saturday and Sunday, and I play golf the rest of the 5 days. Wait, whoa. I do 48 hours on Saturday and Sunday. I'm coming in and work 2 days after. I said, wow, he's some professional golf player. He told me, he said, they gonna lose. Put her in private school. You can't lose. So that's what happened. And then those kids walked through those universities. Walked through them. Ryan came out in 3. When we picked him up, I said, how'd you do? You know, I got 32 units. I said, are you taking 16? Yeah, well, I remember I used to take 17.
Right.
And he said, yeah. I said, oh, you coming out early. And then December last year, he came out. So that's why I had that talk with him about, I said, hey, man, you're going to deal with people. They might be insecure that you came out in 3 years. You're going to deal with that. You know, your brother, you're going to deal with that. They're going to go check. They're not going to believe it. They go, well, let me go check. Oh, okay. And then they're going to try to figure out how they can angle you or how they can deal with you. Get ready. It's coming. I said, but don't get discouraged over that and do what you. I said, knowledge is power, man. It's also pain, but don't let nobody pretty much get you down.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do. So.
Yeah, you know what that 44 stands for?
What?
It's
Is it Jay-Z's album?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he said it was
Well, no, it's the time my mother died.
I'm gonna take the Sherman wash and give it to you.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. I'm gonna give it to you,
My
brother.
mother died, but I did not know. I was hoping you would know. When you're ignorant.
No, I thought it was Jay-Z's album,
something.
but I thought the way you were like saying it.
No, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna wash and give it to you.
No,
You can have it because it's sentimental to you.
What
15, 2008. That was the time my mother died.
What are you working on now?
Oh, a film called Heathens.
Okay.
About an angel come. It's a serial killing angel to come to these churches and kill up these people. So you have these detectives investigating the murder, and this one kid see him kill up these people in one church. I mean, he's going there cutting them up. When they come out, they're all massacred. And I try to not make it preachy, which is not, but it had biblical texts in it.
Yeah.
You know, these detectives have to investigate it and find out what happened. So one detective is an ex-practicing priest, and the other one's an atheist.
Okay.
So of course, when they interrogate this guy, he pretty much disappearing from. They have problems with him up in there. But this guy have swords coming out. I want the swords to be blue. Jeffrey said, "Why you want the swords blue?" I said, "I want the swords blue and I want them different." I don't want to say it's kind of like a 7 and a Constantine.
Okay.
You can probably throw the Batman up in there.
Yeah.
I'm rewriting the script, and I got probably about 10 more pages. I'm gonna send it to you. Give me a number and stuff. I'll give you a copy of it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Look at it. And
Check it out.
I'm gonna give this man a copy too. I already do special effects.
He does everything. So, well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Rob
Appreciate
Tyler,
it, man.
my
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
Yeah.
man.
Thank you, man.
My pleasure.
Appreciate
It
it,
was
bro.
awesome. For real.
Appreciate it. No, I'm gonna see you anyway.
Yeah, well, we're riding home together, man.
Yeah, no,
Till
I'm-
the wheels fall off.
Rob, anything you want a website or any social media or anything you want to?
Oh, I just got Rob Tyler Film Freeway. I'm on there,
Okay.
and then Facebook.
Well,
I'm on Facebook.
and
I think
Last
I'm on
White
something.
Man is available to purchase.
Yeah, on Amazon. It's on Tubi. It's on Vudu. Where else? It's all over the place. Target, Walmart, Apple TV, iTV, whatever. It's all over. You can Google it.
And if you want to take Rob Tyler's class, get it done. Get it done.
Coming
So,
soon.
We're going to figure that out. That's going to be coming
You'll
soon.
put me in this school and let me do it?
I said, yeah, you never know. All right, Rob. Thank
All
you
right,
so
man.
much.
Thanks,
Thanks, man.